the United Nations have been quite keen to make sure progress is being made at these negotiations right now. They actually extended them from 2 weeks to 3 weeks through to December the 15th, but now it's not really clear whether both delegations are going to be here to see them through to the full duration. We knew the regime delegation was likely to go back for consultations, but now they're saying that they won't make a final decision about whether they're going to return next Tuesday until they actually get back to their capital city. They're saying they're unhappy about quite a lot of things. They talk about how the opposition is not being diplomatic in its approach. They say they feel like they're at square one in these negotiations. They say the opposition is imposing preconditions, and for that reason they won't get involved in face-to-face negotiations. They're even criticising the UN envoy to Syria, and they're saying that he's putting forward documents and proposals without putting them through the proper channels first. So it does seem like there's a lot of problems here coming from the regime delegation.
Well, as for square one, we really cannot remember that the regime's delegation has left square one. On the other hand, we left it long ago, and we are deeply involved in the political process so that we can develop some sort of political transition in order to save our country and our people. And as for diplomatic talk, and we believe that the Syrian people deserve diplomatic talk and political transition, and at the same time we sympathize with what they have been suffering all this time. And if the diplomatic talk is to match or to be a copy of the weaseling out or the tricks or the tactics that are being followed, that is not diplomatic talk. It is some sort of cunning and irresponsibility towards Syria and its people.
Andrew, tell us more about the opposition standpoint, their response.
Yeah, that soundbite you just heard there, that was from Yahya Aridi. He's the spokesman for the opposition delegation here, and we're actually talking to him just as the Syrian regime delegation leader Bashar Jafari was making his statement. So we had a chance to get his immediate response to what he had to say. And the opposition, as you heard there, saying that it's only the regime who are making sure these negotiations are still at square one. He says the opposition are the ones who are putting forward suggestions, proposals to rebuild Syria and bring about a political solution to what's going on there. It does seem at the moment, at least in a sort of, for the image they're projecting, that the opposition are the ones more keen to be here and be fully involved in this negotiations. But I think a lot of people who've been watching the war in Syria and how it's progressing will probably say that the Syrian regime may be thinking they don't have a lot to negotiate on, because since the Russian intervention 2 years ago, most people think that has really swung the balance of the fighting in favour of the Syrian regime, so they don't have to bend over backwards so much to reach any kind of compromise. But having said that, there's still undoubtedly a lot of problems here, and once again the future of these negotiations has been thrown into doubt.